you feel. It's pretty much my motto at this point. So let's take an inhale into ego, because once we awaken ego, then we can work with it. And it's normally the teacher, the guide's job to awaken the ego in the people who are present. So I showed y'all some of my ego. So let's all of us, let's take a breath into our ego. And as we breathe into our ego, how does this also relate to us breathing into our pride? Let's take another breath through the nose. A little bit deeper. Inhale, and maybe audible release this time. And just sigh it out, shake it out, let it go. Take another inhale one more time. If you're driving, please keep your eyes open so that you do not crash your vehicle, and exhale, audible release. Let it go. So for this room, I would like to, if possible, speak sometimes, but also have some of this room be completely engaged with conversation. And if anybody feels that they need a hug verbally, or they need some love and want to talk about something, I want y'all to come out and talk, please, because I'd like to talk to y'all. Last time, it was very much so me teaching, and I love to teach, but I like to talk to people too. So
don't be afraid. And this is a safe space. Let me open that up. This is a safe space.
okay, so just really quick, there's not many of us on stage. Would everybody who's just up here, do you mind just introducing yourself? Just say your name and something you're confident about today, just so we can get some voices.
Would you like for me to start? Or
Yeah, you can start, and then we'll just go.
Okay.
You go, and then Moon will go after you, and then Pooh will go after you.
Okay. My name is Carmen. Something that I am proud of today is I was able to work through a lot of emotions that I have been dealing with this week, and today I'm in a better place.
Okay. Oh, my name is Osiris. I'll go before you, Moon, just because of the order. My name is Osiris, and today I feel confident in uncertainty. Yeah. I'll call on people. Go ahead,
Hey,
Moon.
everybody. My name is Moon. From Texas. Pretty much, just simple.
I'm down this one.
Not too long at the hospital, but doing better. Yeah, I feel confident right now. Got good friends
I feel
around.
your heart and soul.
And I'm just want to listen in, learn. That's it.
Unmuting. Thank you for sharing. Welcome, Brother Moon. Pua, would you like to go?
Hi, my name is Pua, and I'm Pua for short. And today, I am confident in myself.
Thank you for sharing. Patience, would you like to share?
I think Mocha was next. I don't see a Patience.
Oh, I
You
see.
probably got to pull. You probably got to pull the PTR.
I'm working on mine, though.
Oh, I see Mocha's. Okay, cool. Patience, Mocha, would you like to share? I think I was just being patient.
No, that's the word of the month for me. Hi, everyone. I am True, and I'm confident that things gonna work out, even though I don't have all the details right now.
That part. Marquise. Cool.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Marquise. I am confident that I have true friends in my life. I'm confident that I will achieve my goals
Pretty good.
in the coming days and weeks. And I'm confident in who I am as a person.
Thank you for sharing, Marquise. Adeleke, would you like to share, brother?
Sure. Greetings, y'all. Adeleke.
In 3 miles,
Take exit 251, I-85 North, Greenville.
Sorry about that. That was my robot.
Yes, sir.
I'm confident that I'm going the right direction in this moment in time. I'm confident that I'm surrounded by love and opportunity and abundance. I'm confident that I am linked to source, and that I have enough confidence to help restore my people's confidence.
Powerful. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that.
I like that last part. I really like that last part.
Cameron, would you like to share, brother?
Sure. My name's Cameron. I'm from Houston, Texas. I am confident in my faith, and I am confident that I'm never alone.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. Just want to clarify, you said you're confident you're never alone and you're confident in your faith, correct? Cool. Awesome. So let's take a breath. And feel that confidence. Let it reverberate through you. If you are on the road, remember, keep your eyes open, please. And it's time to get serious about confidence. What self-confidence means. And as it relates to your past lives, this will be a safe space to talk about which of your ancestors were either lacking or embodied with confidence and how this affects your current life. So I want to speak to that, about confidence as it ripples through. Remember, when we're doing past life work, welcome Marisol, welcome April. When we're doing past life work, the confidence bit is hereditary at times. And so Chinua Achebe actually speaks to this. He has a book called Things Fall Apart. And the whole concept is, can a person be more than their parents' legacy? Like, is it biologically possible? And I personally think so, because my father was an amazing man, but he was also a sleazeball. So I'm just committed to breaking the ancestral curses. And that took a while, because when I was unpacking how to find my confidence, I realized that I felt guilt about going against my blood and my family line and my hereditary genetic traits as they show up with regards to personality and confidence. And so just to take it a little bit out of past life work, but not really, both in the Bible and in the Bhagavad Gita, which is the Hindu spiritual text, and the Quran as well, and the Torah, there are passages that say, if your family will not go with you to the path of ascension, you have to go on your own. Because everything's already been forgiven. So if you're on this journey, and every time you leave your meditation class, your uncle texts you some bullshit, that's because your uncle's frequency in many lives has been holding your bloodline back. And you are the person who's breaking that cycle. So he's trying to attach. Now, whoever that proverbial uncle is, we all got somebody like that who somehow always taps in right when you were about to let go of some shit. Always. So if we want to just take a second, if anybody has that experience, you go ahead and unmute yourself and talk about it for a second.
If I heard you correctly, in a nutshell, okay, you're on this path of ascension and you got that one person in your family that says, now you know what you're doing is of the devil's work. Is that something like what you're saying?
Yeah, that's an iteration of that. Absolutely.
Okay, so I just recently had that experience because now my grandmother is starting to open up to my practice. She was always into astrology, and she said she stopped because part of her horoscope stopped making sense to her. And I started to explain to her, well, there's more to you than just your sun sign. And as I started to explain that to her, my uncle walks up and he's like, he's listening, and he is like literally going off on me like, now, you know, you study the Bible and you know that this, and that is not of God. Why are you sitting here talking to my mother about this mess? And I wanted to say something back to him so bad, but his dad popped up, number 44, which is one of my guardian angels that walks with me. He was sitting right on my shoulder and he said, Go ahead and take them blows. You know what you are here to do. Just eat that. And then when he started getting to me and my pride started getting in the way, when I say my body started to tense up, it was like electricity flying. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to punch you in your throat right now. He said, tell him I said go. So I told him. He was like, who said what? I said, your daddy said, you good. Go. He was like, what? You putting this shit on my dad? I'm like, and I looked at his mom, which my grandmother, and she just shook her head because she knew she could feel my granddad. Though they had separated, and when they're separated and divorced and whatnot, I had a message for her from him because she was holding on to some past pains and she needed answers. She knew she could always feel them. So I was that bridge, that gap between her, the questions that she had with all that she felt but really didn't understand because we have been conditioned to believe that this is witchcraft, this is not of God.
Oh, thank you for sharing. That was a big share for sure. And that's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about the ability to be attuned and confident enough to trust that the only voice in the room isn't the other human who's talking. It takes a great amount of confidence. And I want to speak to this as Black and brown people because our traditional spiritual practices spoke to things unseen. And now in the West, we deem people who have these gifts as schizophrenic, bipolar, unstable. And many times these are the shamans of our tribes who are downloading messages to us on the street corners. And if we listen, that wild ass person probably just told us how we were going to get our next $8,000, but we didn't like the way they smelled. And so where in our past lives have we judged people who are confident enough to completely be embodied in spirit? And where are we not completely fulfilled in that? And so we push it away. This is one of the main places that actually hurts our confidence, is when we judge others and we don't let ourselves embody what we want to be and who we are. Then we suddenly start finding something wrong with the entire world, because at least then we feel confident about the fact that we have control over our judgment. Ashe. Ashe. Did you want to make a share, brother?
Yes, sure. This is Adeleke. Well stated. I want to say, and that was the Ashe. So, I have an experience that happens to be my uncle as well. So, to the point that your illustration involved an uncle. For me, in my case, it's less in this particular situation, but more about finances and business risk. And very similar situation. I have an uncle who works in a particular industry, and he's risk averted. And so what I've noticed is that for our family, we have, my family is several generations into the Christian church, but a very specific sect of the Christian church. And in that particular sect of Christianity, wealth accumulation is shunned. My people grew up Jehovah's Witness, a couple of generations in that particular faith system. And in that faith system, like wealth accumulation is shunned. It's when you looked at someone who is processing themselves to become wealthy, it's shunned within the group. And so my uncle was still relatively in the tradition, but not. I'm completely pulled from it. I still take lessons from it in my growing up in my youth, but I'm much farther removed. But what I've noticed is that every time he and I try to work together to build business in the industry that he has expertise in, which is logistics, there's some sabotaging occurrence that happens, initiated by him. So yeah, that's my relation to the point that you're going for, and it's also a reminder that that what I have to do without him, and get it done so that I can be more effective at representing my family or representing my family and my family line in a position of wealth from this point forward for generations, as far as generations as I can see. Another lake and I thank him for the opportunity to chat.
I'm trying to listen to your podcast, bro. You got a voice.
Right?
You got a voice. Man, come on.
I appreciate that, man. I've been, my dad was a radio DJ, and growing up, I always wanted to own my own radio station. I actually looked into it in my youth in the early 90s, right around the time they started to combine radio stations, and little guys wasn't starting any new radio stations in the early 90s. And then I stumbled across Clubhouse, man. I believe this might be my open door for that. So I appreciate that. That was edifying. I really do. And just keep on the lookout. Ask Adeleke is how you find me on most social media. It's coming.
Good stuff, man. And what you said actually brings us right into our next point, which is finance and how finance relates to confidence in our past life connections. So thank you for the transition. I think there's a big question of, when we think about finance, where have you overinflated your sense of pride and confidence and tried to live beyond your means so that you could show up seeming like you were proud of yourself, which in actuality is just shadow shame? So that's a bit of a heavy question.
I need you to break that down a little bit to where we can understand.
Yeah, we're gonna do that right now. In our society, we are very much so driven by wealth and what we would call worldly desires, which is perfectly fine because, like we said, a lot of us are coming out and decolonizing slave consciousness still, which shamed us for having wealth. And our elders are carrying that, and we're still carrying it. And I was recently reading a book called My Grandmother's Hands by Resma, Dr. Resma, and he speaks to the fact that it is genetically counterintuitive for Black and brown people to want to keep money, because in our ancestral memory, we were used as chattel and as stock or itinerary. And so we don't believe that trade-based systems that use finance won't harm us. Let me say that clearly. Because we have slave and oppressed DNA, we think that keeping money means eventually we might get sold again. It's in our blood to be aversive to keeping money, because keeping money used to mean keeping slaves. So we're decolonizing how to find the confidence to just keep the bag. We know how to make the bag. We made the pyramid, but to keep the bag feels dangerous to us. And so we're learning. And so what I want to ask everybody to do for a second is to think about the number that you want to make monthly, but think about it in regards to the number that you told yourself, oh no, I don't need that, I could just live with. Think about the number you told yourself you don't need, the one that really pops in there to really be you in this worldly experience, completely confident and embodied. and bring that number into your consciousness, because that's your number, not the one you told yourself you're going to rock with for now. Your ancestors and your past lives hadn't made this change. You were willing up until this point, and I'll say I have been willing up until this point to only make so-and-so $1,000 a month. And as much as there is part of me that says, oh no, I'm willing to make more, there is also not a part of me that is unwilling to not make something. And that's where the change in confidence comes. It's not just about what we're willing to do. We have to be unwilling to not attain something. Because if we're doing past life work, I'll say that again, we have to be unwilling to not attain something, which means I am not willing to make less than this amount. That's the cherry on top. Okay, I'm willing. This is the cake. The cherry is, and I'm not willing to have it be less than this. But we didn't have that space in a lot of our past lives as Black and brown people. We didn't have choice. It was literally ripped from our DNA. So as we're unpacking that, it can be triggering to really go in and be like, no, you know what? I want to declare this for myself. Like, I have to declare this number. This is my number. And to actually be proud of yourself so that you can realign with your goals. Does anybody have any feedback or want to drip in on? Oh, anybody want to drip in on that? Yes, no? Okay, cool,
Well,
yes.
I would just like to share with y'all that I'm unwilling
Use
to
the
not
left
make
2 lanes to turn left on Phipps Boulevard.
$5,000 a week.
Say that one more time.
Say that again.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I am unwilling to not make $5,000 a week.
In 900 feet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that concept. I love the way that it's presented.
Thank you.
The idea of being unwilling to not accomplish the goal. And so I'm borrowing from that, and I'm so grateful that I was able to be able to receive that from you, brother. That's powerful.
Yeah, I actually like that. I was on the edge about if I wanted to ask the group to share that. So if everybody wants to just share what they're unwilling to not achieve, just in like one sentence for a number, like where's your number? I'm not willing to make less than this. For me, that's 14,000 a month. So I'm at 6,000 less than you, Adeleke. Just for me and my means right now, as a single man who doesn't have anybody to take care of other than my mother, really, I'm comfortable getting myself up to 14,000 a month. So I'm unwilling to make less than $14,000 a month. And then Spirit goes, be specific, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I am unwilling to make less than $3,500 a week. That's the breakdown. That's when Spirit can really start to be like, oh, okay, I see you weren't this specific last life. So if anybody else wants to make a share, go ahead and go for it. If not, we'll proceed. Let me know.
I'm gonna take a shot at this. I am unwilling to make less than $5,000 a month.
Boom. That's it. That's it. Anybody else want to let the world know what you're unwilling to do at this point? Willing once, willing twice. Oh, we got two M's in the building. Let's go. We're bringing the M's in.
I'm unwilling to make $10,000 a month.
So you're going to want to flip that a little bit, and you're going to say, I'm unwilling to make less than $10,000 a month.
Okay. You're right. I'm unwilling to make less than $10,000 a month.
There it is.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. I want to speak to that really quick. Linguistically, our body has been cursed because we speak the colonizer's tongue. And so it's very important to go back in, pull that eraser out, erase the pencil that just tried to fucking curse you again for the next whatever years, and be like, hold on a second, nigga, did you just say I'm not willing to make 10 G's? Like, whoa, that was in me. Thank God it left. Now let's be clear. I am not willing to make less than 10 G's. That, ooh.
Right.
We call it Freudian
got me
slip.
over here tripping.
Well, we call it Freudian slips in Western society. Freud deemed it that people speak their unconscious patterning out of their most relaxed thoughts. So it's just something to observe, not a judgment, Marquise, at all. So excuse me if I made you feel at all judged.
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay, cool. What about you, Moon?
Yes, sir. I'm unwilling to make less than 10,000 a week.
I got to get with y'all. Yeah. Marisol, Cameron, I saw True just left. Any of y'all would like to just declare what your standard is? Go ahead and share if you want, or I'll drop into the next section. We got about 15 minutes left in here.
I'm gonna say I'm unwilling to make less than $1 million a year.
Echo.
Yeah.
Echo. Yeah. Ashe, we bring that in. Thank you. You got it, Marisol. Willing once, willing twice. Cameron.
Sure. I don't know. My goal is to make $500,000 every month. But that's what I'm gonna do. But
You gotta be certain.
Awesome.
You can't be uncertain. You gotta be certain.
So the way you're going to declare that, if you want to, and of course everything's consensual, you are going to try to say, I am unwilling to make less. Did you say 500,000 a month? Right?
Yeah. I am unwilling to make $500,000, less than $500,000 every month.
Boom. There you go. Now, that feeling is so much of it. That's the roots. It's a seed. It's a seed. So thank you all y'all for sharing. We'll move forward if we feel complete. All right. So that brings us to, what does it feel like to be confident about my goals? When we're saying these things, how we feel in our body is extremely important. The more we let the parts of us that want to hold on to who we used to be die, the more we let the parts of us that want to hold on to who we used to be die, the more confident we become. Because we're building trust with our transformation and for our transformation. We're not fighting it. We're not judging it. We're not thinking it's going to be potentially harmful. We have to let our pride die to actually be proud. There's different facets of pride. Two that I want to highlight are shadow pride and then just truly confident pride. So this is just something I love to do because I love unpacking my relationships with men. My shadow pride is like, damn, this dude Adeleke looks dope. His picture's fire. This dude must be like an Ifa priest or something. I'm making all these projections about what I see he might be, or you might be, brother. Now, my confident pride says, wow, this dude Adeleke looks dope. I don't know what he does. I don't know if this dude's an Ifa priest, but he showed mad love this whole time. And I'm the one who's speaking in this room. So I must deserve to be in this brother's frequency because I must be aligned. I must be doing something right. And suddenly, the affirmation that I was afraid to acknowledge and share not only affirms the person who I'm viewing, but also affirms me. Because I'm here. And why would spirit put me in a place to admire someone who's not a reflection of me already?
Question.
Yeah.
Could this be a means of that saying that says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you? So if you're doing unto them what you want them to do unto you, is this a reflection of who you are? Is that a good way? Is that a way of looking at it?
It's a brilliant question, Carmen, because I do believe that. But I also have come to understand the way that trauma works and the traumatized person wants to continue being harmed because they don't know better. So that situation is a little bit different. If we're not aware of how we're creating harmful situations for ourselves because it's what we're used to, then we're not actually doing unto others what we want done to us. We're doing unto others what was done to us.
So are you saying we are responding to, or we are doing unto them what we want them to do to us? So that is a way of us manipulating how we want them to treat us?
I think every interaction is innately manipulative, and that scares the people a lot to think about. But everything I speak, it manipulates the space. So me influencing and speaking to you is influencing your consciousness so that you can understand me. I think what's really important is that the traumatized person realize that they no longer have to be understood through their wounds. And they can be confident in the fact that someone might just understand them without needing to see them break down first. And someone might understand them without needing to get in a fight and then both exhausting themselves and then sitting together and smoking a spliff and being like, well, fuck, I still love you. Like, those cycles, I think, are the switch from shadow pride to confident pride. Does that make sense, Carmen?
Yes, it does.
Okay, cool. Thank you for asking. And then the next topic I want to speak to is how to find balance and polarity in the realm of pride. So ego death is necessary. And there's a question that I like to ask myself is, where haven't I died yet? I love this question because it makes me sit and I feel all the parts of me that are so dead bent on having a mortal personality, the parts of me that really want my legacy to pass forward. Part of that is real and very valid. Like, let's not be unclear at all. We are reestablishing ourselves as melanated diasporatic people on Turtle Island. We are here. And if you're not in America, shouts out to you. If you're not in North America, shouts out to you. That being said, identity is one of the main sources of suffering because it is individual. And last week in our Pride Breakout 1 of 4, we spoke about the different linguistic definitions of pride. So I'll bring that back in again. There is pride as in the sense of confident and of myself. And like, I did that. I'm proud of myself. You're proud of a kid when they color in the lines for the first time. Then there's the haughty, arrogant pride. You know what I'm saying? Saying that I'm the GOAT instead of letting the comments say that I'm the GOAT. But then there's also collective pride, in the linguistic term of lions or big cats. And there's a lot of honor in owning who we're with, where we're with, when we're with. That's our pride if we think of ourselves like lions as melanated people. So I always ask myself, where haven't I died yet? Where have I been holding on to this thing that's keeping me away from the collective pride because I'm so proud of this identity? And how can I rebalance myself to be confident in the fact that I have changed instead of being prideful about the fact that I know how to make it work? That's a big place right there. How can I be confident about the fact that I have changed as opposed to being prideful about the fact that I know how to make it work? And when I say know how to make it work, I mean very much so I know how to make it work. I mean, I heard my single mother say, I know how to make it work. I've heard so many of my brothers who are brilliant say, I know how to make it work. But as we say these days, make it make sense. Let's take a breath and reset the room really quick. Inhale. And exhale, let it go. We are going to go a little bit over 3:45 today. I can feel it already. We'll probably close out about at 3:50 just to give everybody a heads up on PST. So wherever you're at in the world, 50 minutes after the hour. Got about 10 minutes left. So key things to rebalancing your confidence and your pride: be truthful. If you know you're the GOAT, act like the GOAT. Don't go around telling people you can, that's annoying. Just do it, live it, embody it. And when people ask how you got there, actually talk to them and tell them. Secrets of the trade is one thing, but each one teach one is a whole real idea too. And you have no idea, or you do, but I have had no idea until late, let me say that, how confident I feel when I pass my skill sets on. When I see someone else figure it out because of something I've been doing that maybe didn't even work for me, God, that feeling of rise in the chest, that's a confidence that I like. What I don't hold on to is the places where I have not felt confident with other people's affirmations. A lot of times we call this forgiveness, but forgiveness is forgiving. And before you can give, you got to have something to give. So when you're sitting trying to figure out how to forgive, figure out where it is that you felt out of your confidence seat, where you didn't feel proud of yourself for how you acted. Even if that means you're the one who didn't cause harm, maybe you didn't set a boundary. That's still your actions. Were they informed by trauma, right? As we refer back, did you actually want to be in that situation? Maybe you need to forgive yourself. Okay, what are you giving to yourself? What are you forgiving to yourself? The space to be confident in the fact that you did the best you could. With that, we move on to the next topic of be the one who sets the pace for yourself. This is so integral to confidence. I sat with some very powerful plant medicine 3 weeks back. I had a pretty big cry on one of the Sunday mornings after about feeling like I could be replaced, like I'm replaceable in some way or another, even like be another light-skinned nigga out there somewhere who finna ball on me, be it my brother always dating my best friends in middle school, be it the fact that I haven't aligned to myself completely in my visions of myself. This story of replaceable, for some reason, has carried with me. And so I was talking to one of the elders from the sitting, and she looked at me and she said, baby, you know, she said, baby, I want to tell you something. First of all, nobody else in this world has your fingerprints. I started bawling, just weeping, because that's just, oh yeah, that's it. That's the, wow. And then she said, and no one in this world can walk your gait. Biologically, your stride is one of the things that makes you the most unique in this world. No one ever has or will have your exact gait again. So you are physically irreplaceable. I wanted to share that with y'all because it feels really important. It feels really important. And that brings me to our satsang community, our environment, and how you have a lot of opportunity to be the confidence that you want to attract. And how oftentimes in my experience, when I've attracted people who are as confident as I actually want to be, my ego shows up. Because I'm like, yo, you're like, damn, you're really doing this thing, bro. Or cis or non-binary kinfolk. Like, you're really doing this. And then I remember, oh yeah, I'm in the room because I'm doing it too. So I ask myself often, are the people around me as confident as I want to be, or are the people around me scared to reflect their confidence? And this is an important, pressing question because we have to have different circles to support our pride. We have to be proud of the fact that we put ourselves around elders and mentors who are better at what we do than we are. It takes a lot of pride and courage to have that small fish, big pond identity. But then it also takes a lot of love and honor to have people who feel that way about you. And that's the service aspect of community. So you should ideally be around some people who are scared to own their confidence because you inspire them. And you should also be around some people who make you feel very uncertain about yourself because they're so embodied. And with that embodiment, they let you know, like, hey, yo, you don't got to feel like that. Like, I know. But they should never make you feel like that. It's always you. And we only feel jealousy when we see a reflection of a more attuned, embodied reflection of ourselves. We see what we know we are working towards, and we have the choice to either admire it or feel envy. Envy makes us feel prideful. Admiration makes us feel confident. So you set the pace for yourself. And then within that, a lot of these illnesses and a lot of these resistances and sicknesses that come up in our human experience and that show up as emotional outbursts are actually pretty easy to purge if we take the appropriate steps to work with purgatives and plant medicine. And I just want to let everybody know that if you want to look up things like Combo, it's a very powerful plant medicine that can purge low vibration spiritual entities from your small digestive and large digestive tract. It's an indigenous medicine. It's the poison of a dart frog. It's called Combo. You basically, you purge, and it's very powerful. It's warrior medicine. It's grandfather medicine. And then there's also ayahuasca, which is grandmother medicine. So that is a purgative also. And what that does is it goes into the quantum level of your body, and it realigns you with your purpose, with your ancestors, with where you've been. And it just speaks to you from the heart of you, because it's a grandmother. So purging is a great way to get out these past life connections and these past life relationships with pride and confidence. And final thing I would suggest, we're only 3 minutes over before questions, so that's not bad, is hydration. Water is one thing, but it's not enough to drink just water. And it's not enough to drink just alkaline water. So starting with water, we can drink alkaline water, we can drink spring water. We can also drink water with different altered pHs. We can also drink tap water if we want to put heavy minerals into our body to realign with the frequency of the city. We don't talk about this a lot, but misalignment is one of the main pieces of sickness. So if you feel your body for some reason just craving tap water, like obviously it's not good for you. Give your body what it wants. You'd be surprised how good you feel when you just do what your body actually wants. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but trusting the body is so important. And for that reason, if you are doing wild things like drinking a small glass of tap water once a month, there's actually a lot of different practices about drinking things. We'll get into that another time. But make sure you're drinking your chakra juices. Each fruit, each vegetable can match to a chakra based on the color. Beets to root chakra, bell peppers to sacral chakra, peaches and nectarines to solar plex chakra, veggie greens, leafy greens to the heart, blueberries, acai to the throat, blackberries to the third eye, and things like dragon fruit for the crown chakra. These colors can match up, and you can really drop in and juice this stuff. So make sure you're hydrating yourself with different types of hydration, because this will help with your confidence a lot. You're 70+% water. And when your emotions are stuck, or your chi or your prana is stuck anywhere, then you have a tide pool. And in tide pools, creatures start to grow. And you don't really want to have creatures growing in your body. So you want to get your energy circuits clear and let these things move through you. And hopefully you'll be able to be proud of yourself and feel confident about where you are. So thank you so much for coming to today's part 2 of 4 breakout session regarding pride. This one is what is confidence? Just to run through, we talk about what self-confidence means, observing who shows up when you're feeling confident, finance, and your declarations to how much you're not willing to make less than monthly. What does it mean to feel confident? The different facets of shadow pride and confident pride. How to find polarity between the two, working on forgiveness and honesty, being the one who sets the pace, how confidence attracts to you and your different relationships with people who admire you versus people you admire and look to for confidence, the benefits of purging and plant medicine, and make sure to stay hydrated. If anybody has any questions, let me know. I'll be here for like 5 more minutes, and then I got to drop off.
Gratitude to you. I really appreciate all that you have dropped. I say that in a good way. You've given me different perspectives on how to look at certain things that were discussed today, and I thank you for opening that up for me.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Anybody else open to share? Or any questions?
I have a question. I also just want to say thank you. I really appreciated this space, and just being able to think about confidence in these different ways was very enlightening. My question has to do with one of my ancestors, my grandmother, who had a lot of trauma, had a lot of rage, anger, bitterness, and I feel like I carry that from her. And I know I had been doing this prayer just to kind of like elevate our ancestors who haven't made peace with themselves. And I was just wondering if you had any recommendations of either prayers or rituals to kind of help those ancestors in our bloodline who struggled with these things, with like anger and rage and all of those things.
Yeah, so first of all, you're right where you're supposed to be. You're asking the right questions. Our week 4 breakout, next week's going to be the full moon, but week 4 of this August Pride 4-part session is going to be releasing pridefulness and integration of pride. And yeah, that's a great question. Sorry, I was just talking for like 2 minutes and was muted. My bad. So it's a really great question. And next week, we're going to be working on full moon energy. But the week after that, week 4 of this 4-part Pride series is going to be all about releasing pridefulness and integrating the rage that comes with pride. So the questions you're asking about are, for one, I'm just going to give myself a plug, the type of work we do in my private past life sessions to figure out what each ancestor needs. Because you are the living iteration of 1,000 ankles, 1,000 feet, 1,000 hands, and 1,000 lips and hearts. So everything you say, walk, do, see, and feel is also theirs. And so this rage is something, to keep it short for you, because I do want to answer, and whoever she is or he is wants me to tell you, it's ready to be released from your bloodline. And that happens a lot, is that the younger of us will get a wild ass fucking energy. And we're like, fam, like this isn't me. Like, I feel it come over me. Like, I know there's someone else like embodying my DNA right now. And it's because that ancestor is from the other side, has found you a host who is strong enough to experience the experience without being dragged down by it. You can view it objectively. And so that means that you can realign it and kind of tweak it a little bit so that it benefits your bloodline instead of harming your bloodline. To give you a short answer, and I would love to take you in for a session offline too.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, that's a great question. I think everybody, I really appreciate that you asked that, Marisol. And I am at my time now. So if anyone has a short question, feel free to just fire it out really quick. I'll try to give you a short answer, but probably just get with me on Instagram, Osiris8, or shoot me an email, osiris@osiris8.com. And you can just holler at me and I'll take you for a private, or we can just talk, whatever, let me know. But I'm here. We got 2 more of these every Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Clubhouse. All my handles are Osiris8. Any questions?
Quick one. What was the grandfather plant that you mentioned earlier? Paco?
Combo, Kambo.
Combo, Kambo. Is this something that it has to be administered by a registered shaman, etc., or will I be able to find it where I'm at, all the way over in Georgia?
You'll be able to find it where you'll be able to find it where you are. I tell you that assuredly. You'll be able to find it where you are.
Okay.
Yeah, just feel it out though. Make sure you sit with someone who feels like they've done it in past lives.
Appreciate it.
Of course, brother. All right, y'all. I appreciate you, Carmen. I'm gonna tap off. I love y'all. Thank you so much. And hopefully y'all are in here, Clubhouse next Friday. Follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube, and yeah, keep doing the work.
Cool beans. Thank you, Osiris. I appreciate y'all for coming out, and I look forward to seeing y'all next week. I'm enjoying this journey, and I hope y'all are too.
And yeah, so ain't nothing that can keep me down for too long. And you know, the body is only part of who and what I am. So even when the body tries to wrestle with the spirit, you know.
That's true. I say, but thank you for joining us, Osiris.
Yo.
What's good? What's good?
Oh, Flyrus.
You heard? Sorry you're not feeling well, Jacob.
And thank you, brother.
Yeah.
I do feel great, even though I don't feel well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not sick. You're just getting better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Of course, bro. Of course.
Yeah, we all wanted to start off by like saying like we hope you get well fast, and that it isn't something that like really deeply affects anything in your body, and that your spirit is able to carry you through that experience. And yeah, we're sorry to hear that, but we know you'll be stronger after it. And I feel like we all share that sentiment together. I think I'm glad that we know now that like this may be happening. So I think like it'll help us to get ready for any of the changes that may happen when it comes to our event, how we're going to do the event. But we're currently thinking about different ways that we can adjust for the possibility of Jacob not attending the event. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So yeah, mainly, so I called the event, the venue owner tonight, just to check in to see if he's has any openings next week. Because if possible, we want to be able to just postpone the event, and then still keep everyone that we have in the lineup. Because we, at the end of the day, like we want all three of y'all. We want all three of y'all to perform. It wouldn't be the same without Jacob. So that's the first case we're going for, depending on how these test results come back. And then if that doesn't happen, if he is booked, because this is a busy venue, then our other option is to go forward, have the same day. And this is just transparency with the other artists that Jacob just won't be on the lineup. I don't even want to speak that out, but if that does happen, that's the worst case. So just wanted y'all to know we're already brainstorming and figuring out how to move forward. But Jacob, we know you're gonna get well, so these are just considerations.
Man, thank you, y'all. Like, I mean, the love has really been felt from the jump, just in not only what y'all